Namaste Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Sarupaya Swamine Tapoharine. Swami Satyadevanandaji, the head of our center at Mumbai, very respected Sri Pinaki Chandra Ghose, Honorable Chairman Lokpal of India, respected monks, including Swami Shuddhidananda and Nikhileswarananda, who are supposed to speak here after this session, and for the benefit of students, going slightly beyond the norms and discipline of our order, should I take a little liberty of introducing one of the outstanding Swamis of Ramakrishna Mission, sitting here in the first row. I was going through an article by the head of the Department of Philosophy, Oxford University, a few days back, where he has proudly mentioned his name, Swami Suviranandaji Maharaj. He is the, as on date, if I am not wrong, the top mathematician in the world today. So Suviranandaji also is here, and I thought that I will introduce him to you for your benefits. As a matter of fact, few years back, the director TII for Bombay, he sent me a special request to spare Suviranandaji's services for TIFR on Lien. And I thought that for the national cause, for the greater cause of mathematics, we should do this sacrifice, and I spared his services for Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mumbai, for almost 5 years now. So, our beloved Brahmacharyans are not there. Otherwise, I would have addressed the Brahmacharyans also. And then, very illustrious lady, the first lady of the institution of Lokpal, Mrs. Ghose, and distinguished friends of the dais, and also our very respected Nivedita ji from Vivekananda Kendra. She is the vice president of the Vivekananda Kendra, and I do not, or rather can't resist the temptation of saying that Nivedita ji has been honored by the government of India last year with Padma Shri Award. So they are all here, and it's a great opportunity to interact with our very distinguished ladies and gentlemen present this lovely morning here in this auditorium. And I am especially enthusiastic to say a big word of welcome and thanks to those bright stars from different institutes, young boys and girls who are here. We have had the privilege of listening to two bright speakers. One is Shubham ji and another is Priyanka Desai. And I am absolutely sure that India has not died, and India is very much alive after hearing them, and India is on the march of going forward and onward. Now, as the announcer has told that I am supposed to deal with this question, the question why we are here and what's actually leads us to this scenario that we spend at least few hours in ruminating what happened 125 years, 26 years back in Chicago. I hope I will be excused if I slightly digress and remember our beloved Prime Minister Narendra Modi, I think Modi ji, you all know, wanted to become a monk of Ramakrishna order. When he was a small young boy, he came to Belur Math, the headquarters of Ramakrishna Mission, with the request to give him and bless him with the entry into the order of monks of Ramakrishna. And it was our monks who advised him to sacrifice and dedicate his life for the country. If my memory serves me right, it was in 2017 that Modi ji inaugurated the inaugural function of Government of India's 125th of Chicago observance. Now there, Modi ji made a wonderful remark. I quote, Modi ji wrote there, spoke there. Modi ji told, Vivekananda didn't believe in sermonizing alone. I quote Mr. Modi. He believed in actions, the hallmark of which is his establishment of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. An organization is going from strength to strength during last 122 years, as had never succumbed to any pressure tactics. That's what Vivekananda is. I will share with you a few personal anecdotes and also one or two anecdotes of Swamiji's life before I embark on this topic, the subject of this function. A couple of years back, I had been to a state in the far-flung northeast. Nivedita ji also goes. Right now, she is from that part of the country. I went to that state where Vivekananda is a word alien to everybody. Anyway, a group of people organized a function, invited me. I thought, despite my hectic schedule, it is one occasion, one function that I must respond to. I went, and when I went to the stage, some young man stood up and told Swami, we do not want to hear you say about Vivekananda. I told, why? What is the problem with you? He told, Vivekananda is a Hindu monk, and we are not Hindus. I told, look, have you ever gone through Vivekananda's life? Have you ever thought about Vivekananda? Have you ever looked at Vivekananda? No. I'm afraid you have not heard of Vivekananda as well. You keep your ears closed. Vivekananda is the man who has been made famous and introduced in the West by the Christians. It is the Christians, Dr. Barros, Kate Sunborn, who introduced Swami Vivekananda to the Western audience. In the West, Vivekananda is garlanded by a particular community to which you also belong in India, and it is very, very unfortunate that a prophet is not honored in his own country. Is that so? He asked. Oh, yes, you can speak for Vivekananda. Speak about Vivekananda. Ours together, we are here to listen to you. This is my experience in the far-flung northeast of the country. And another experience I must like to share with you, my personal experience again. A couple of years back, I was invited to speak in Logan Hall of the London University, the most old hall, most prestigious hall as well, Logan Hall. And among the audience, 25% constituted by the British young boys and girls, as you are sitting here, boys and girls. Now they thought the function started at about 10 o'clock in the morning to be over at 9 o'clock, and there were a lot of speakers about Vivekananda. It was again the same function, 125th of Swami Vivekananda. And then they thought, the organizers thought, and maybe rightly thought, that lectures and lectures, sermons and sermons, discourses after discourses may bore the boys and girls. So they invited two outstanding singers from India. One is from Mumbai, another is from Calcutta. I will not tell their name for obvious reasons, but you all know him. They make the headlines. Anyway, when the singer from Mumbai went to start his song, sleeves after sleeves poured in. And will you believe? You may believe me safely that most of those slips were from the British youngsters. And what that slip contained about, what it said, they were sending slips to the organizers. We have not come here to listen to songs. We have come here to hear about Vivekananda. The organizers were rather compelled to go to that singer, outstanding singer he is, and request him to be off with one song. He did it. Maybe he was very happy because he got the entire remuneration only by singing one song. I don't know. And another singer from Kolkata obviously had to wrap up. He got the money without doing the job. So this is where the wind blows. The other day we saw a news making headlines. Vivekananda's statue has been defecated. And that too, one of the most important universities that the Asia continent has. A very sad commentary on how we look at Vivekananda even today. I was speaking a few months back in a premier city of Bengal, and then a chairman of a PSU, after my deliberation, asked me a question. He told me, Swami, Vivekananda spoke in America in 1893, and he gave a message of harmony, gave a message of inclusiveness, gave a message of peace, gave a message of love, gave a message of brotherhood. But after 108 years, America was witness to another 9/11. 9/11/93 was Vivekananda's 1893. And 9/11/2001 belonged to a group whom we call terrorists, and they were to spread the message of hatred. 90-degree angle juxtaposed to each other. Why? I remembered a very recent book being published by the Amazon publishers. The name of the book is very strange. At least few of you, our Swamis, must have gone through that book. The name of the book is The Gift Unopened. And this book, in the preface, the scientist couple of Harvard University, Mrs. and Mr. Ilinio Sturck, they write a beautiful thing. In the preface, they say that 100 years back, Christ sent us a gift, but we are so slow coach that we didn't even bother to untie the red ribbon of the gift. Open the packet and see all what it was all about inside the packet. It's better late than never. Let's untie the ribbon, see what it is all about inside the packet. the packet was opened, and Mrs. and Mr. Eleanor Stark say that the gift was Vivekananda, Vivekananda, and Vivekananda all through. Now, in the very first sentence of that book, in the very first chapter, in the very first sentence of that book, this couple write wonderfully, if Columbus discovered the soil of America, Vivekananda discovered the soul of America. And that is what Vivekananda to the world. But even then, discord remains. Even then, struggles remain. Even then, strife remains. Why? Because of two reasons. Number one reason is a prophet usually is not honored in his own country. He is honored, but late. You have immense darkness just below the light. And that's why, as far as our country is concerned, I think it will take a little more time to catch up with Vivekananda. And then another thing that I remember is we have not bothered to listen to what Vivekananda said in 1893. This is why we still are steeping in superstition. We are still steeping in poverty. We are still steeping in what you call something very serious, unwellness, which needs to be attended right now. What was the condition of the West and the East when Vivekananda went to America, and what led Vivekananda go to America at all? Vivekananda would remain Vivekananda had he not gone to America. Then why did he? If we look at his life, we find that after the passing away of his master, Vivekananda had undertaken a sojourn around India, 5 years, from 1887 to 1892, more or less. And to my humble mind, while going around India, Vivekananda, for 2.5 years, saw India with closed eyes. He wanted to discover the soul of Mother India. He meditated, he contemplated with eyes closed therein and looking inside. And the rest 2.5 years, he saw India with eyes open. He wanted to see the Mother India as she is, as she was. Vivekananda was traveling in Gujarat, western part of India, in 1892. All on a sudden, Vivekananda made up his mind to go to Varanasi. Went, worshipped Lord Vishnath, and then he had a favorite saint in Gazipur called Pauhari Baba. Pauhari means Pavanahari, one who eats here and lives on air. Vivekananda went to Gazipur to pay his regards to Pauhari Baba. After paying regards to Pauhari Baba, when Vivekananda came down to the royal road of Gazipur, on both the sides of the Rajpath of Gazipur leading to Kumari, he saw millions and millions of Pauhari Baba standing on both the sides. Gazipur's Pauhari Baba became a Pavanahari because of a higher art, a spiritual art. And these lakhs and lakhs of Pauhari Baba Vivekananda saw standing on both the sides of the road leading to Kumari. And not the Pauhari Babas who became Pauharis out of choice or out of a higher urge. They became Pauhari because they didn't have anything to eat out of compulsion. Vivekananda says, enough is enough. Throw the bells into the Ganges. Vivekananda said, throw the priest and the clergymen into the depth of the Pacific Ocean. Somebody asked, why Swamiji wanted these people to be dumped into the Pacific Ocean? Did Swamiji forget about Bay of Bengal or for that matter Indian Ocean? No, Swamiji didn't forget. Swamiji would not forget things so easily. But these people were so cunning. Swamiji had an apprehension that had they been thrown in Indian Ocean or Bay of Bengal, there is likelihood that they will come back swimming and come back to India. Swamiji didn't want it. Swamiji told, let them be dumped and dumped forever. These are the people who have spoiled the country, spoiled the fabric of culture, spoiled the nation. So let them be dumped forever so that they can't come back. And the stone images be thrown into the depth of the Atlantic Ocean, Swamiji says. This is what India was, but still India lived. If we see who sent Swamiji to America, it was to Hindus. Alasingha Perumal and Ajit Singh, the scion of Khetri, who sent Vivekananda to the West. Before going to the West, Swamiji was going to Almora, and a place near Almora, the so-called scholars, they made Swamiji speak on for long 3 days. But those people did never bother to ask Swamiji whether he has eaten anything. Swamiji's life was at stake. Swamiji didn't know how to survive. Swamiji didn't know where to get a morsel of food. At that time, one young man, with lot of hesitation comes to Vivekananda. And in a trembling voice and trembling body, he says, Swami, I have seen those people who are asking you questions. You were going on answering the questions, but never bothered to ask you whether you have taken food. You must be very hungry. I am a poor man. I do not have anything, but I have a cucumber from my garden. I am a Mussalman. Will you take the cucumber touched by me? Swamiji embraced him. He told, brother, you are my deity of the heart. And Swamiji took that cucumber and Swamiji told, this man, Zulfikar Ali, has saved my life. Had Zulfikar Ali been not there that day, we would not have found Vivekananda on the world stage, much less in India. And then, what happens? As I have already told you, Hindus sent him to America. A Mussalman saved his life so that he could go to America. 2 Christians introduced him to the Western audience. And Swamiji says, Buddha is the man for whom I deserve the highest regard. He says, he is my Ishta, he is my chosen ideal. Is not that a living demonstration of Parliament of Religion that took place in Chicago? But then, as I have already told, that this is what was India. Swamiji gives a new connotation to religion. He says, I give you a new connotation to religion. Enough is enough. Swamiji says, a religion which cannot give a piece of bread to a hungry man, a religion which cannot give medicine to a patient, a religion which cannot stop the wells of the orphans, a religion which cannot wipe out the widow's tears is no religion. And that is where India and our Swami Vivekananda and the fate of India lie. Which is why Swami Vivekananda says, I can see, I do not imagine. Russia will rise and fall. China will rise and fall. India will rise, but it must sit at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. And when he speaks of sitting at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, he certainly doesn't mean Ramakrishna the person, the inclusive character of Ramakrishna's message. And then, if we go to America, Swamiji went there, an unknown young man, nobody knows, unseen, unsung, uncertified man, a stranger. Swamiji is going in the afternoon for evening stroll. One American couple is going. And then you know, those days in America, the concept was, if you put on an unstitched cloth, you are a savage. And seeing Swamiji, the lady is telling her husband, this man must be a savage. Swamiji overstepped, went to that lady and told, ma'am, in your country it is the tailor who makes gentlemen. In my country it is culture and education that make gentlemen. Swamiji has been invited to a congregation. Swamiji has been invited to a congregation, and somehow intentionally the Gita is at the bottom and some other scripture is at the top. Swamiji is completely unaware of these small things, but then somebody pointed out to invite Swamiji's attention. Swami, your Gita is at the bottom and mine is at the top. What do you say? Swami says it is good because the foundation must be very strong. And that is where Vivekananda is. They say, Vivekananda, Swami, we hear you belong to Hinduism. Indians are Hindus by and large. And we hear that when a small baby fetus is born, that child is thrown into the Ganges by the mother. What Swamiji will answer all these stupids? Swamiji said, yes, true, that is very much true. And don't you know, in the process, there is no women folk in our country today. It is the men folk who have undertaken the responsibility of giving birth to children. After all, the progeny has to be kept up. That is what the West was. And in this backdrop, Vivekananda gave a very clear message, unequivocal message. And this message stands on 6 pillars. What is this? Number 1 is divinity of soul. Each soul is potentially divine. Swamiji says, ye are damned to hell from birth, pray to thy heavenly Father, is no more valid. Swamiji says, had I been a householder and had I had a child, I would have put him on the cradle and told him, Tamasi Niranjana, thou art the supreme God. Whether he is Ram or Rahim or Joseph doesn't matter. But God resides in every human being and every creature. This is the first pillar of his philosophy. Second pillar, unity of Godhead. Ekang sadvipra bahuda vadanti. This existence is one. The sages call it by various names. We call jal, we call pani, we call aqua, we call water. If I ask for a glass of water or glass of pani, the substratum remains the same. That is how we call God, we call Ishwar, we call Bhagavan, we call Allah, and so on. So this is the second tenet of Vivekananda's philosophy. Ishwar is not two, God is not two, it is one and only one. Then Harmonia of Religion. God created man and man created religion. No religion teaches hatred. No religion teaches malice. No religion teaches impurity. No religion teaches jealousy. It is the practitioner of religion who has created this in the society. Religion is a word which has done maximum good to the human civilization. And the same religion is a word which has done maximum damage to the human civilization, caused maximum bloodshed, much more than any crusade, much more than any world war. Because the practitioners of religions are not good. If I give a piece of bamboo to you, well, you may make a club and break somebody's head. And I give the same piece of wood to your friend who is a singer, a musician, a flute reciter, and she makes good tune, very melodious tune out of it. So it is not the bamboo that is to blame, it is the practitioner of religion that is to blame. And that's why Swamiji says there will be harmony between man and man, harmony between woman and woman, harmony between Vedanta and science. Vedanta must speak in the language of science, and science must speak in the accent of human welfare. Otherwise, there will be vast disaster. You are standing on a volcano, Swamiji said. And then, service to Lord in and through man. In every human being, Lord is there. So you serve them without the expectation, a single expectation of a single thank you, and you serve the Lord thereby. And then, of course, today, when you look around, as you have heard that ours is a global organization, multi-ethnic organization. Ours is an organization, perhaps the only one in the world, which the sociologists call it a non-profit multinational corporation. And whatever be the nomenclature in the eye of philosophers and sociologists, ours is a religious, charitable organization. And being a humble soldier in the militia of Swamiji, I have the access to what is happening all around the world, especially the countries that we cover, as many as 27 countries in the world. And I can tell you in no uncertain terms that wind of Vivekananda is irresistible. Today, in here, around Bombay only, we have few personalities whose life has been molded by the influence of Vivekananda, who has scaled the Mount Everest by the influence of Vivekananda's message. For example, will you permit me to say, I hope you don't mind, because they are Bombayites. Number one, I will tell Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. He didn't want to become a politician. I feel personally, he is the best man to answer. I can't answer. Second, Anna Hazare wanted to commit suicide, targeted a train in Delhi, and then when he went to Delhi station, he found that the train was to come by 10 minutes late, thanks to Indian Railway. Had it not been 10 minutes late, we would not have got Hazare today. So then Hazare saw a book in a glass almirah on the platform, and he started seeing that book, and he strongly felt that he has a future. Every saint has a yesterday, and every sinner has a tomorrow. That is how we get Maxasewardi Hazare. He lives still in a Shiva temple in Ahmednagar, in between Pune and Aurangabad. Now, you have a very favorite actress in Mumbai. She was a speaker who shared dais with me few years back in our ashram at Khar. So she herself told that when she was a college-going girl, she had a thought of maybe, you see, even committing suicide, if I am permitted to say so. Her friend told that you go to Khar, there is an ashram, Ramakrishna Mission, meet the monks. She came, she didn't meet the monks, but she went to the library, saw a book of Vivekananda. And then she is today what she is today, and that is entirely due to Vivekananda. What is she? What is her name? When the function was over, I came out of the auditorium, ocean of people, young, old, all people. And then I asked one of our media friends there that what has happened, is there any law and order situation here? Well, no. आपके बाद में जो स्पीकर थी उनको आप जानते हैं? और नहीं जानता हूँ, हमने कभी देखा भी नहीं, हमने कभी नाम भी नहीं सुना, कुछ भी नहीं जानता हूँ. बोले हमने सुना कि स्वामी जी के बारे में उनका जो जिक्र था. बोले हाँ, वो तो मैंने सुना. बोले उनका नाम है Kangana Ranaut. She is the number one actress in India today, and that's why all these people have come to see her. So in the film world, we have a captain who is influenced by Vivekananda. In the world of social service, we have a captain in the form of Hazare, who is again then. And I personally asked our Prime Minister that we hear that you came to Belur Math to become a monk in your teenage. Is that true? Modi ji ने मुझको कहा कि 150% true. खैर बहुत अफसोस है जो मैं बन नहीं पाया, लेकिन कभी मैं आत्मजीवनी लिखूंगा तो उसका जिक्र जरूर करूंगा. उसके लिए मैं एक अध्याय समर्पित करूंगा. तो then you have an outstanding girl in our country, very poor girl, from a very, very small background. You must have heard her name. She is very famous now. She is a celebrity overnight. Arunima Sinha. She is very close to our Swami Nikhileswaranandaji, who is the head of our center at Rajkot. So Arunima Sinha is one girl who has, it's a long story, time will not permit me to tell all this, but whose left leg was amputated, and then with the amputated, she is the first amputee woman to scale the Mount Everest. She is the first amputee woman to scale the Helsinki in Finland. She is the first one to scale all the highest peaks of all the 7 continents in the world, and that is Arunima Sinha. Arunima Sinha was asked by Calcutta media when she had been to Calcutta a couple of years back that Arunima ji, how iska kya raaj hai? तो Arunima ji ने कहा, she told, इसका राज छोटा से एक लफ्ज है, उस नाम है स्वामी विवेकानंद. I carry Vivekananda's photograph in my chest. I carry Vivekananda in my heart. And that is the only secret that I could do this feat. That is why today we must stand, think for ourselves, and look at Vivekananda. Vivekananda, not the person. Vivekananda, his ideals, the 6 pillars on which Vivekananda's ideals stand, philosophy stand, principles stand, message stands. If we do that, and not only knowing, I know milk is white, but I have never drank it, no point in it. I must know, I must see milk is white and I must drink it, then only my body will be nourished. I must see Vivekananda, I must think about Vivekananda, I must know Vivekananda, and I will try my level best to put it into practice in my life. Then only my life is successful. With these few words, I thank all of you, especially Swami Satyadevanandaji Maharaj, for giving me the wonderful opportunity for being here this lovely morning, and also his colleagues, our friends in Mumbai Ashram. And I must thank also the young boys and girls who are here to celebrate this occasion, to participate in this occasion. As a matter of fact, I heard those two brilliant boys and girls, Shubham and Priyanka, and I felt slightly shaky. They spoke so well. I thought that whether people will hear me at all after these two beautiful speeches. But anyway, you were so kind to hear me. Thank you so much. And before I leave this dais, I become slightly apologetic because my apprehension is I must have taken a little more time than I was allotted to. So I remember a joke. Joke is like this, that you know, when the speakers get microphone, they usually do not agree to leave the microphone, which is why they're gone. So one such speaker was there. No, I am not that speaker. Someone else, he was there. And then he started speaking, and he used to speak with eyes closed. Entire night is over, morning has dawned. And when he opened his eyes and his lecture is over, he found none in the auditorium except one boy. And then he told that boy that, look, everybody has left, and how come you are here then? Then he told that, yes, I have got some job. Oh, then you mean to say that when I leave this auditorium, you will be closing this auditorium? Well, no, that's not my job. This is the job of the organizers, and I am not one of those organizers. And that's why this is not my job to go and close the auditorium after your departure. Then you are waiting. Do you think that you are waiting for me to go and then you will wrap up the carpet? Well, no, that's also not my job. As I tell you, I am not one of those who are my organizers. And that young man roaming here and there, looking around with a club in hand. Then he told them, how come you are here then? Well, I am looking for the man who has given appointment to you. I have got to deal with him properly. So, if you are really bored, if you feel that I have taken extra advantage of my presence before the microphone, I would certainly request you to look for the man who has given me appointment and spare me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
प्रणाम महाराज। ऐसे महाराज ने बोला वैसे किसी को ढूंढने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। महाराज हम लोग बार बार सुनना चाहेंगे। कितनी सुंदरता से महाराज ने स्वामी जी के और स्वामी जी को एम्बॉडीमेंट ऑफ ऑल द रिलीजन बताया, एंड विद सो मेनी elucidative examples he mentioned about the importance of Swamiji's words. Few words changing the life of so many people. So many of us are here as well. Pranam Maharaj for those wonderful, inspiring and fiery words.